Let there be light. Hi, this is Stan. Welcome back to the shop. Well, we picked up some solar panels from Harbor Freight along with a companion lithium battery package from Jackery. Not the biggest one that they offer, but big enough for our purposes anyway. So it is actually a folding portable 100 watt set of panels. Each panel is 50 watts and conveniently mounted handle on here and some snaps. Anyway, my intent is not to use this as a portable setup, but I'm actually going to mount it to our A-frame camping trailer. Well, sorry about all the sawdust, but this is a front trunk on the camper. The propane tanks and battery are down here. This lid swings open and we can carry a bunch of junk in here. On top of this is where I intend to mount the panels. What we've been using when we go camping, we like to go off-grid, if possible, to be self-contained. And we've had these panels from Harbor Freight. It's a kit of 4 panels, and it comes with a voltage controller and the whole little kit package. And we've had good luck with these. It's 100 watts total, so each of these panels is only 25 watts. And we got this so that we wouldn't necessarily have to park our camper in the direct sun. We could put the camper in the shade, and then we could follow the sun with these panels. So my plan here is to not use these as a suitcase panel. They're hinged in the middle and they have these legs on there. What I'm going to do is actually take the hinges off, and I'm going to mount these panels side by side on that front lid to the trunk on our camper. Now, admittedly, we don't get in there a lot, but this will add a little bit of weight to that panel, so that's one possible downside. This panel doesn't come with any sort of a built-in controller. It's not a complete kit. It's just these 2 panels, and then it will be able to charge up this Jackery, this lithium Jackery. It's already got the input designed to be compatible, plus this, when it's mounted on the camper, will also feed into the system and the controller that we already have in there. And the advantage there, one of the reasons we've done this, because like I say, we have panels already, when we're pulling the camper and we're running the little refrigerator off 12 volts, it depletes that battery. And so having these mounted on the camper will hopefully give us a little bit of solar feedback and attempt to top off that battery as we're driving. So if we've got a 6 or 8 hour drive, all that time, hopefully these panels will be trickling into the battery and help with the current draw that the refrigerator takes. Also, I ordered from Amazon this solar panel mounting bracket kit. This saves me a lot of time trying to fabricate this, and it's got all the bits that come with it, and so this should make mounting and holding the panels secure. And then I went out to the metal store and got some 1/8" aluminum angle, and this will be the grid on which we attach these solar panels. Alright, I put a few marks on here. Each panel will be mounted this way and this way. So I marked a center point on our lid and 2 inches in from each side. This angle will be a little bit longer than I need. Each panel is 27 inches. I'm going to bring this out to maybe 30 inches. And that way we could accommodate some larger panels in the future perhaps. Okay, so let's get off to the chop saw. I'm going to cut these down to size and make a few small brackets to mount these horizontally like this through the lid. Kevlar long pieces are cut to length, and then with the leftover piece I cut some small angle brackets out of the same aluminum so that they can mount into the lid and then mount into this angle bracket here. You may be wondering about the blue tape. Well, that's because I needed 6. I actually had to cut 7 because the first one, twing, launched somewhere and I'll probably never find it. So the blue tape kind of helps keep things somewhat near the chop saw when I cut them. If you've not cut soft metal on your chop saw, probably don't want to start, but you know, just use a hacksaw instead, or if you've got a saw that's custom made for cutting. But I like the chop saw. It's carbide tip blade and it makes nice straight cuts. Take a file and smooth everything out, and when you put your leftover pieces away, file the edges on those as well smooth. You'll thank me later when you don't get cut. Okay, so I need 6 of these, 3 for each of these long bars. And next, frankly, we got to go to the hardware store and I need to pick up some nuts and bolts to not only mount these like this, but to mount these L brackets through the lid on the camper. So I'm going to run and do that, and I'll catch you when I get back. Okay, we got some stainless steel goodies from the hardware store. So let's get busy and drill some holes. Let's drill out some of the holes here on our fiberglass lid. Okay, we got our holes drilled here. We're going to mount these bars first on the ends, and then we're going to worry about the middle, which I'll show you in a minute. So here's our stainless steel bolt that's going to come through this, and then I'm going to put a rubber washer grommet on there, and then underneath we'll put this fender washer to give a little more support, and then our nut. So, and I'll rip this green tape off because I'm done with the markings for right now. Oh, and I almost forgot, I'm going to put a little caulking. I'm going to put a little bead of it down in the hole before. Okay, these are mounted on both ends. And you can see in the very center there's a little bit of a dip in the trunk lid. So I've got to decide whether I'm going to draw that up or just mount a bracket to just maintain the gap. And the other thing is I'm going to be mounting the solar panels right in the center, so I'll probably offset the 2 little angle braces slightly. Okay, I got the little center braces mounted in there. I decided to just keep the gap and just go with the flow for the little bit of sag that's in the lid, rather than trying to draw it up tight and possibly add some more downward bend to the aluminum beams. So now it's time to take a look at the solar panels. So next, since these panels come as a little briefcase style, I'm going to have to remove these hinges from the back end. That one and that hinge. So I'll get busy on that. I decided to remove all the unnecessary hardware. I took the legs off, took the hinges, the latches, the handle, everything, stripped it all down, and there was one screw that was nasty and a problem and would not come out, so I had to drill it out. So there's always one in the classroom, right? Alright, so now I'm going to position these on those brackets and see where I should mount these on the panels themselves. Okay, I'm going to start by mounting one of these brackets near the top of the panel because that's the limit, and then I'm going to have to figure down 12.5 inches to mount the other bracket so that it will fit on the rack. Alright, I've got 4 brackets on each panel, and the right distance between the holes for mounting. So let's see how they look up on the actual RV itself. Alright, they're firmly attached. Well, I got to clean up all the shrapnel, and we'll plug them in and just do an initial test. Well, let's pull it out into the driveway this morning, and then once the sun gets around, we'll give these panels a test. These A-frame trailers, this is a chalet, they go up in a jiff. They're pretty fun, and let me show you how it pops up. It only takes a second. Well, let's check and see how heavy these things are and if I can lift the trunk lid okay. Well, that's great. I had no trouble at all. That's not going to be super duper heavy. And there'll be some little drainage on there. Ultimately, the test will be out on the road at 60 miles an hour. So these things should be able to charge either the Jackery portable power brick that we've got, or charge the internal battery on the camper. And it's a bit too early in the day for a test of that. We'll wait till this afternoon to check that. All right, it's mid-afternoon. These panels are not quite in line with the sun, and we've got a few clouds going here and there. So let's just verify that we are putting out some current into the Jackery. So currently, looks like we're at 51 watts, and we got a little cloud cover, and we're not exactly at the right angle, but we knew that. These solar panels are not adjustable, so they're only at the right angle about once a day. But the main thing is they're putting out some wattage, and that's great. So now let me check it into the house system. Okay, here's our little solar controller hooked up to the battery. You can see we got a positive feed going in, and we're showing 13.8 volts now. So that's a pretty fat charge on the battery. Let me turn on a couple of appliances. Let me hit a couple lights. Let me hit a couple more. And we lost 1/10 of a volt. Let me try a little pump. Okay, well, I put 4 LEDs on and ran the little sink pump, and we only pulled about 1/10 of a volt. So the camper's pretty stingy, unless we're running the refrigerator, and it's going to run a little bit for the heater at night. But anyway, it looks like we don't have any wires crossed, and I think we're gold. Well, that's a wrap. These panels seem to be working perfectly. A little cloudy today, this afternoon, and the angle of the sun is not perfect, but I'm pleased with the result. Current's flowing out of the panels into the battery, and the 12-volt system seems to be functioning, and the controller seems to be working inside the camper. So 2 thumbs up. I'm counting this as a win. Well, hopefully I'll be able to give you an update when we hit the road one of these days and see how these panels perform while we're driving as well as when we're parked camping. Anyway, hope this has been helpful. Hope I can see you right here next time. Thanks for watching.